Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Everspace. Immediately under fire here, we're in very early stages. In fact, still in Sector 1 and we're going down. Right, there we are. So, as you can see, in Sector 1, Zone 1, and everything's good at the moment. Lost shields very quickly there, but what we're going to do is head on out now and have a bit of an explore, however we want to term it, of this particular area, and we're going to see what sort of items we can obtain. Now, unfortunately, I'm still not starting with any components here. I haven't put enough perks in for that particular setting yet. But let's head on out and see what we can find. Looks like there's a hostile over there. That's what I thought. We got an outlaw scout. Now, have had a bit of a tweak with the graphic settings here, and I've managed to increase the frame rate a little bit. There were some frame rate issues, if you remember, previously.
Multiple hostiles incoming.
Using the wrong weapon there. So we're now up to a fairly solid 60 frames a second, so hopefully that fixes things. Essentially all I did was reduce down the shadows, and I reduced the view distance as well, but everything else is pretty much the same. I said there was multiple hostiles. Where are the other ones? I'm not even sure what I picked up there. It was a new blueprint, wasn't it? Should we have a quick look what it was? Maybe it was the shield booster. It looked like that icon, didn't it? Unless I got another type of shield. Who knows? Didn't quite catch it. I'm sure you guys would have seen it though. Right. So is there anything out here? We don't know yet. I don't know also how far I'm going to get on this run. But I want to do as many upgrades as I possibly can. I do like the look of the ice in these fields. So GMB credits transporter over there. Always a tempting target. Now, every so often I get asked whether or not there is a third-person view or first-person view for this game, because I always fly it in third person, and there is indeed. All we need to do is press the V key. I've shown this a few times before in previous videos, but it's always worth having another look at, and that lets me sit inside the cockpit, or we can have a first-person view without the cockpit as well. But just for spatial awareness, just for personal preferences really, I like to maintain the third-person perspective. And I don't know if you can see, there's some slight jitter there. I'm still not able to track down exactly where that's coming from, unfortunately. You can see it's not down to frame rate. Something else causing the jitter there. Well, I really can't find anything here. Seems to be a bit unusual. Maybe I didn't explore the zone good enough, but never mind, we're headed on and we're going to check out Zone 2. Maybe something will be more readily apparent out there. Let's take the middle route. I haven't had the map upgrades yet to reveal more information on that particular view, but as we get more credits, as I get more perks over time, that's something I'll no doubt take more effort to unlock. It's always nice to know what's coming up in any particular system. So we've got some mineable gas. Mineable in the sense that you just shoot the rock and collect whatever drops out of it. Plenty of GMB stuff around here, but not much in the way of hostiles and not much in the way of resources. I find that a little bit strange, to be honest. I guess to an extent it's procedurally generated and there's a heavy element of RNG involved, so you're not always going to get what you'd want to get, and you're certainly not always going to get what you expect to get when it comes to these sort of games. But as always, I do love the views. Where are they? Right, okay, so we're now coming under fire again. These drones are always a nuisance, very, very heavy hitting when it comes to their weapons. But they're gone. And hopefully they've left some goodies behind. Let's have a look at the mineable ore then. You know, I really don't like areas like this where there's no resources. I don't mind it when there's not much, but I find it a little bit frustrating when there's absolutely nothing about. Nonetheless, we've got plenty of mineable ore. Maybe I'm not exploring enough, so let's have a look over here. Now there is a GMB supply freighter over in front, but I don't suppose that got any bearing on this thing. Although that looks like it might be their logo there. Yeah, this is a GMB place, isn't it? Okay, so I'm not taking that. Looks like they ruled the entire zone. Let's keep going then. If I'm going to keep going at this rate, I will need some fuel. We've used up a quarter. After this jump, we're going to be down to half a tank. Really miss all the perks I had prior to release. Let's go this way. Very, very empty, very, very quiet. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, and I'll end up with a whole bunch of enemies actually attacking me. Look at the view here. Nice Earth-like world below us with a very close by orbiting moon. Can't quite imagine what a moon like that would look like being down on the planet. Imagine how bright full moon would be with the sunlight reflecting off it. Full moons can be bright enough as it is on our planet, can't they? Let alone a planet as close as that. It'd probably be, well, a bit like a sun up close, wouldn't it? Although in this case we've got the star behind the moon, so it's a little bit darker. Right, so I was hoping that was for some fuel, but it's a plasma cloud. 2 more hostiles incoming though. Let's hope I've got enough time to gather up this plasma. Oh, they're not incoming, are they? Oh, they are incoming. Let's take out that drone first. Any minute now. Right, they're down. Still no fuel low. Oh, we got a booster damage blueprint, or damage booster blueprint. Not bad. Nanobots are handy because we're going to need to be repairing any moment now. Already lost a bit of hull. So, which looks like a likely target here, where we're going to be able to find some resources. This huge asteroid seems worthwhile. Mineable crystal. Okay. And we got a container. Right, you may be wondering why I was able to pick up the light missiles there when I've already got missiles, but I actually picked up a perk which gave me a second weapon slot, or a secondary weapon slot, however we want to say that. So I can now hold 2 different types of missiles, which is good, and we've got a 3rd primary missile weapon slot as well. So when I do get an opportunity to pick up a new weapon, we can also equip that as well. Oh, looks like that's it. Now, this might not be the best place to actually mention this, but I've been seriously considering doing some Elite Dangerous live streams. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments section. It's something I'll perhaps get around to doing. If I do it, it will be something I'll probably do on weekends, maybe Saturdays or Sundays, and most likely UK daytime rather than evening as well. So it might be a little bit difficult for American viewers. But like I say, let me know what you think, and if there's enough demand for it, then I'm going to give it some serious thought, and it may well be something I do. It's actually been a very long time since I did any live streaming. The last time I did one, I think, was back in 2015. So yeah, perhaps past time. Don't yet know, but yeah, let me know. What have we got over here? We've got a comm hub over here. Now, if I can get this working, this should reveal to me what's in the area in terms of resources. I hear some... oh, yeah. Thought I heard some contacts. Right, let's see how quickly we can take these out. Wait for the shield to recharge, and we'll strafe in there. Trying to save my missiles for the moment. Oh, got a bit in range of... oh, what's going on here? We got... let's get rid of that.
We've got company.
Yeah, so I was about to say we got company. A lot of it as well. That's what I get for trying to be so careful. So careful facing one direction, I didn't pay any attention to what was going on in the other direction. A heck of a lot of ships coming in there, heck of a lot of drones. Gonna need to do a quick repair. Fortunately, we've not taken any damage to components, and this seems to be something that doesn't happen very often anymore. Back before release, it was very, very common to get damage to components, and that would happen way before your hull dropped below 50%, but it doesn't seem to happen very often at all now. Well, that's one way to collect a load of resources, isn't it? From all the enemies around us. Get attacked en masse. We seem to be getting a bit more drift. I'd almost say our thrusters were damaged if I hadn't looked at them just now. And just as well, there's some nanobots here. Yeah, we're definitely getting more drift. Yeah, inertia dampeners. So I have got some damage. Can we repair those? Nope, we're going to need a lot more resources. That's a bit of a nuisance because it makes flying this that bit more difficult. It's actually kind of nice in a way because it gives it much more of a Newtonian feel, which obviously the game doesn't have. I thought I was going to hit the surface there. Look at these explosions. Oh, not quite how expected. Actually venting. Love the effects on this, even the lighting. Right, we've actually got a improved pulse laser here, so we're going to take that and swap it with our regular one, and we'll salvage the old one. Oh, we got Okar forces incoming, and I really want the rest of the items around here. Let's see if we can try and get them before they turn up. That tech container, though, I couldn't quite make out where it was. Oh, it's almost like it's clipped into the... there we go. Right, let's get out of here. Are we going to make it? Every time you get hit, it does take a little bit of a reduction of the charging up of the engines there when you're preparing for jump, but luckily we didn't get hit too much. So into the final zone of this sector. Actually turned out to be quite an interesting sector this time round. Not an abundance of resources, but just a few unexpected events there. So I'm going to go over and get these nanobots straight away. We're going to repair the inertia dampeners, and we're also going to repair the hull somewhat. Once I've got the fuel here, you can see we're actually running a little bit low on fuel. Try the scattergun. Though generally that's better at closer range. So we return back to the pulse laser, which has actually been enhanced now. And the Gatling gun to take down the hull. Another nice explosion. Are these incoming? Nope, they're fighting someone else over there. So time to take stock and time to repair. Inertia dampeners first. And plenty of nanobots left to fix the hull. And we're now in tip-top shape. Okay, is something else around here? Yeah, a little bit of scrap. And as you saw, scrap does come in very handy. Well, I'm going to go over and take out these Okar fighters and then have a look at those large rocks over there. Maybe we'd find some resources in there. And then after that, we'll have a look at... Sorry, I wasted a missile there. After that, we'll have a look at what repairs or upgrades we can actually do. Maybe we can build some new equipment. We've been picking up plenty of resources, so just maybe we can upgrade our shield. Drone override. Never really used one of these, but I don't plan on using one anytime soon. And I'm always forgetting using my shield boosters. And we got some plasma mines there. They probably would have been quite handy. But I must remember to use those shield boosts. Excuse me. So we've got some nanobots here. Good. I'm actually further away than I thought. Oh, look at all this. Where's that power cell go? Okay, we'll leave the gel at the moment because this looks more interesting over here. Oh, there's a bit of gel there, as it turns out. Now the question is there any traps here, such as mines? It seems not. We've got some light missiles, which are going to come in handy. Because I'm running low, and this is going to save me using resources to craft more. So this is where all the resources have been, this sector, all huddled together in a single location. If only it worked that way. Okay. So it looks like those are the last few resources I'm going to collect. Then it will be time to have a look to see what upgrades we can do. And then we're heading for Sector 2. That's further away than I really want to go, to be perfectly honest. Unless it's in the right direction. Got another contact on the radar there. An outlaw drone. Right, let's have a look at these upgrades then. Right, we can upgrade the shield. We can also upgrade the pulse laser. Right, so energy consumption mod or shield damage mod. Like the idea of that. So this is using some crystal, some plasma and some scrap. I'd like to be able to upgrade the shield as well. I don't want to have to choose. Shield capacity mod. So 10 crystal, 16 scrap and some power cells. So it looks like we're going to have to choose, doesn't it? Because I think this used some crystal as well. Yeah, we haven't got enough for both. Let's have a look at upgrading the Gatling gun instead then. Nope, everything wants to use crystal, so I'm going to go with shield. No, we don't want to build a new one, we want to upgrade. Upgrade shield capacity mod. Okay, so that's it for upgrades at the moment. Unless, of course, there was some other crystals laying around here. There's certainly other resources. I probably should collect these before I disappear. Resources are very scarce, as we've seen in the previous zones. So it'd be a bit foolish to leave them behind, wouldn't it? Maybe I should go over and get that mineable scrap. Oh, look at that, crystals. Just happen to be laying there, assuming it's going to be enough. Oh, it looked like it might only be one. Still, one is better than none, and it will hopefully add up. Oh, and there's mineable crystal over here. Thank you for the fuel, little matey. And where did that mineable crystal go? You know what? If we can get these before Okar forces turn up, we might just... Oh, crikey. Let's keep around to this side of the asteroid for the moment while we take out the enemy fighters here. Right. Nearly lost our shields there. Trouble is, am I going to be able to make this before Okar turn up? And where the heck are those? Where are those turrets? While I was fighting now, I've turned myself around and missed a missile. Now it's possible to shoot these missiles down, but I've already managed to achieve that. Right, good. Okay, so all the best resources are in the last zone, but we do want those crystals. Come on. But we never want to leave containers because, yeah, look at all that. Yep, exactly. And a huge crystal deposit there, look at that. Where's that crystal disappear to? Oh, there it is. This place is actually chock full of resources, isn't it? That's something new. And some more plasma mines. Okay. Well, we're going to have to get out of here then. Where's the jump gate? Well, the difference here this time is I've got to get into the centre of that jump gate there, which is 3 kilometres away, and it's then got to charge up while I sit perfectly still, possibly enough time for them to shoot me while I actually sit motionless. Let's hope that's not what happens. Oh, it looks like we've got plenty of time. Good. Bit of a shame there because there were so many resources. I would have loved to have collected all of them. Oh, we've got an elite O-car over there. Lovely looking sector here as well. Right, so now we can upgrade the pulse laser, and I'm going to upgrade it so it does more damage to shields. I don't think anything needs repairing, does it? I'm wondering whether to build some more missiles, but for the moment we'll save what we've got, and we'll go over and see if we can take out this elite O-car fighter. Assuming he's not protected by a...
This place sure sees a lot of action.
The Demilitarized zone is the boundary established between colonial and O-car claims after the war. The buffer zone is intended to last until a longer peace can be settled. Since the O-car had prior claim, they hold authority over the zone. The treaty stipulates no colonial fleet presence, although there are colonial mining interests at work in the area. And then, of course, the outlaw elements.
Of course.
I'm using the wrong weapon. Still using the wrong weapon. Just wondering why the shields won't go down on there, because didn't I just upgrade them? I know he's an elite fighter, but even still. Done. So I assume that the elite fighters are the ones that most frequently drop the access keys. And we'll see whether or not we can actually use one of those right here. Loving the colours here. That's what I thought. A few credits nearly left behind. So still getting that strange stutter in here. Seem to mention that every episode now. There is a reduction in FPS there. Some outlaw scouts flying in from the direction of the central star there. Make it a little bit difficult to see them. Quite a smart tactic. So the access key there, in case you're wondering what that's all about, it does, is this GMB? It does enable us to open locked doors, as it were, inside some of the larger structures we sometimes find. And those can have some rather interesting and unique resources. But there doesn't appear to be such a structure in this particular zone. Although quite possibly something over there. Wonder who the mining platform belongs to. Obviously belongs to someone, as it's still active. Are they getting closer? No, they don't seem to be. Okay, and that ore will continue to drop out because this guy here is actually shooting that out. That's going to make a shame I can't quite pan the camera around enough there. Bit bright perhaps, but not too bad. Just taking a quick screenshot. Okay, so let's have a look at that structure over there, and we're probably coming in for enough time in this particular zone, I would have thought at that point. Although there's another large rock over there, and it's likely there's at least some mineable crystal in there. Is that plasma? The reason I'm leaving a couple of things behind there was some ore I'm leaving behind because that will just continue to spew out, and there's also some fuel which I don't need currently because I've got a full tank. But just maybe there's something around here. And look how quickly we strip their shields away. More missiles though. Come on. Got it. Right, where were we? I do get myself disorientated. Right, there we are. Now, I did hear some missiles incoming. I don't know if there was a turret around here or not. I wouldn't have thought it was the fighters shooting them, though. Right, we haven't got very long here. But maybe, just maybe, enough time to get that container. And there was only credits in there anyway. Bit of a risk, perhaps? No, we've got plenty of time. Not a risk at all. And we're heading off out. Let's see what the colorations of the next zone look like. Quite a contrast to what we saw previously. And look at that, straight away some resources. Right then, I think that's as good a place as any to leave off for now. As always, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you guys and girls next time.